Nutrition in human beings. Human beings are omnivorous in nutrition, that is, they take in both plant food and animal food. The nutrition in human beings takes place through human digestive system. The human digestive system consists of organs such as mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. These organs together form the alimentary canal. Human digestive system also contains glands such as salivary glands, liver and pancreas. Nutrition in human beings include various steps. They are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, egestion. We will now describe the various steps of nutrition in human beings. Ingestion. The human beings have special organ for the ingestion of food. It is called mouth. It is bounded by upper and lower lip. The food is put into the mouth with the help of hands. Digestion. The digestion of food starts as soon as we put food in our mouth. This happens as follows. The mouth cavity or buccal cavity contains teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. The teeth cut the food into small pieces, chew and grind it, so teeth helps in physical digestion. Salivary glands present in our mouth produces saliva which mixes with the food while it is being chewed. The saliva contains an enzyme, amylase, which digests the starch present in food into sugar called glucose. Tongue helps in mixing the food with saliva and pushes the food during swallowing. The slightly digested food in the mouth is swallowed by the tongue into a common passage for both respiratory and digestive tracts, that is, pharynx. When food enters into pharynx, the muscles of the pharynx contract to push the food into the esophagus or food pipe. At this time, the valve called epiglottis covering the windpipe closes. This prevents the food from entering the respiratory tract. From pharynx, the food is gulped down into the tube-like structure called esophagus. The esophagus is lined with muscles that contract and relax rhythmically. This pushes the food forward. This is called peristalsis. Peristalsis occurs all along the gut. The epithelial cells of esophagus also secrete mucus which lubricates the food. This also helps in moving the food forward. The peristaltic movement of esophagus pushes the food into the stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The food entered is churned in the stomach for about 3 hours. During this time, the food breaks down into still smaller pieces and forms a semi-solid paste. The stomach wall contains tubular glands in its walls. The glands present in the walls of the stomach secrete gastric juice. The gastric juice contains 3 substances: hydrochloric acid, the enzyme pepsin, and mucus. Hydrochloric acid provides an acidic environment for the action of enzyme pepsin. The enzyme pepsin begins the digestion of proteins present in food to form smaller molecules. Thus, the protein digestion begins in the stomach. Mucus provides the protection to inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal conditions. The partially digested food then goes from the stomach into the small intestine. This is regulated by a sphincter muscle which releases food in small amounts into the small intestine. Small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal and is about 6.5 meters long in adult man. It is arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. Small intestine helps in the digestion and absorption of nutrients. The small intestine receives the secretions of two glands, liver and pancreas. Pancreas secrete pancreatic juice into the small intestine. Pancreatic juice contains enzymes such as trypsin and lipase. Trypsin breaks down proteins and lipase breaks down fat. Liver secretes bile, which is a greenish yellow liquid. It is stored in gallbladder. Bile helps in breaking fats present in food. The walls of the small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice. The intestinal juice contains a number of enzymes which helps in further digestion of food. In this way, the food is completely digested in the small intestine. Absorption. Till now we have studied about digestion in the small intestine. Next, we will understand how absorption takes place in the small intestine. The small intestine is the main region for the absorption of digested food. After digestion, the molecules of food become very small and it is pushed ahead in the small intestine by contraction and relaxation of the muscles. The inner surface of the small intestine has millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi. The digested food is absorbed by the villi. Now let us take a closer view of one villus. The villi are in close contact with the blood vessels. The food present in the villi is absorbed by the blood. Assimilation. From the blood, digested food is carried to all parts of the body. The digested food is used by the cells for obtaining energy and for the growth and repair of the body. The digested food which is not used by our body immediately is stored in the liver in the form of a carbohydrate called glycogen. This stored glycogen can be used as a source of energy by the body as and when required. Digestion. A part of food which we eat cannot be digested by our body. The undigested food cannot be absorbed in the small intestine. So, undigested food passes from the small intestine into a wider tube called the large intestine. As it moves along the large intestine, the villi within it absorb the water, so the undigested food becomes almost solid. The last part of the large intestine is called the rectum. It stores this undigested food for some time. Then It is thrown out through the anus. The act of expelling the feces is called egestion.